Lions could land a real bargain with two-time All-SEC prospect in 2025 mock draft. Before we continue with the news, I want to ask for your like. This helps the channel a lot and motivates us to continue bringing you the latest updates on the Detroit Lions firsthand. Our goal is to reach 2,000 subscribers this month, so if you are not yet part of our community, take the opportunity to subscribe now and stay up to date with everything about the team. Stay until the end, because the news is just beginning, and you will understand all the details now. Thank you very much for your support. Now let's go. Mock drafts are on fire, and an unexpected name could end up falling into the Lions' lap. With free agency about to open and great talent still available, the Detroit franchise could be facing a golden opportunity to strengthen its defense. A prospect who was once considered a high-level pick could have his value impacted by off-field factors. But this could play in the Lions' favor. Will they seize this opportunity? Let's dive into this analysis and understand how this player could become a key player for the team next season. If you've been following the mock drafts this NFL offseason, you've probably noticed an interesting pattern when it comes to the Detroit Lions. The hype surrounding the team has been high, with many fans and analysts expecting the team to make a big move in this year's draft. However, that scenario could change quickly. With free agency just around the corner and a surprising array of talent available, the Lions will have a number of options at their disposal. The big question is no longer whether they'll bolster their defense with a pass rusher, but rather which player they'll select to fill that role. In a new mock draft, the Lions were projected to select a name that was not long ago viewed as an elite talent, but now appears to have unexpectedly fallen down the prospect charts. Athlon Sports' Luke Easterling predicted Detroit would select Tennessee's James Pierce Jr. with the 28th overall pick. Pierce is one of those players who has caught the eye since he was a young player. His production in college football speaks for itself. In his sophomore season, he recorded an impressive 10 sacks and maintained a solid level the following year, with 7.5 sacks. This performance earned him All-SEC first-team honors in both years, cementing his name as one of the top defenders in the conference. In addition to his performance on the field, Pierce also had good numbers at the NFL Combine. He recorded the fastest 40-yard dash among pass rushers at the event and was among the top 7 in the long jump, demonstrating explosiveness and speed. Another factor that could weigh in his favor is his age. He declared for the draft early and will only turn 22 in the middle of his rookie season, which means he still has a lot of room to improve. The only reason that could justify his drop in the draft board is the recent rumors about off-field issues. However, the Lions will have enough time to investigate whether there is anything concrete in these speculations before making a final decision. If a team fails to bolster its defensive line in free agency, Pierce would be a very interesting option in the draft. If he falls to the 28th pick, Detroit could have a chance to secure a talented and explosive player for a much lower price than expected. A real steal. Do you think the Lions should take a chance on James Pierce Jr. in the draft, even with the off-field rumors? Answer yes or no in the comments. Now let's move on to the next update. Stay until the end so you understand everything. Don't forget to leave your like to help the channel. Let's go. Lions could have one of the best cornerbacks available in 2025 free agency. The 2025 offseason promises to be decisive for the Detroit Lions, and the moves in free agency could be the difference between a solid campaign and a true run for the Super Bowl. With a competitive roster and room in the salary cap, Brad Holmes' team needs to make strategic decisions to strengthen the defense, which showed weaknesses in the most critical moments of last season. Among the priorities, 2 needs stand out: improving pressure on the quarterback and strengthening the secondary. With Carlton Davis potentially leaving the team, the search for a high-level cornerback becomes essential, and one name is starting to gain traction behind the scenes: DJ Reed, formerly of the New York Jets. Will Detroit finally make a big investment to consolidate its defense? Let's analyze the options and the impacts of this possible signing. The Detroit Lions are approaching a crucial offseason, where the moves in free agency could define the future of the defense. The franchise has several options to bolster the roster, but one thing is clear: adjustments to the defensive sector need to be a priority, especially after a frustrating end to the season. pressure on the quarterback remains the team's biggest need, but strengthening the secondary is also at the top of the list. The possible departure of Carlton Davis, due to the high cost of renewal, could force the Lions to look for alternatives on the market. And one interesting name is already starting to gain traction. Among the most intriguing options, DJ Reed, former player of the New York Jets, emerges as a strong candidate. Reed not only stands out for his solid numbers, such as 414 career tackles and 6 interceptions, but also for his style of play that fits perfectly into Detroit's defensive scheme. Pro Football Focus writer Bradley Locker analyzed the best free agency fits for each NFL team and named Reed as the best choice for the Lions. Last season, Detroit used cover 1 mostly, applying it on 33.7% of plays. Since 2022, Reed's coverage grade in this formation is 70.7, the 12th best among qualified cornerbacks. Even in a subpar year, he still maintained an impressive mark, recording his 6th consecutive season with a grade above 70.0. With Davis 3 out of contract and approximately $51 million in cap space, the Lions have room to invest heavily. With the dream of reaching the Super Bowl more alive than ever, the possibility of bringing in Reed becomes a highly viable option. Time for the Lions to bet big on the secondary? Last offseason, the Lions' biggest move to bolster the position was the arrival of Carlton Davis via trade. A solid move, but without a transformative impact. In previous years, the team opted for more low-key acquisitions for the area, with mixed results. Now, with a clear need for a big reinforcement, 2025 could be the ideal time to take a more aggressive approach. Elite cornerback or pass rusher? The Lions' big decision. With 10 cap spaces for 2025, the Lions will have the freedom to act, but they will need to prioritize. General Manager Brad Holmes, known for his cautious approach in free agency, may again take a more conservative approach, avoiding spending large amounts of money on just one position. In addition to the need in the secondary, the franchise has also been linked to big names in the pass rusher market, such as Myles Garrett and Joey Bosa. The lack of pressure on the quarterback was one of the defense's biggest problems in 2024, exacerbated by Aiden Hutchinson's injury. Strengthening the defensive line, therefore, may be an alternative that is as much or more of a priority than investing in an elite cornerback. If they opt for a more balanced plan, the Lions may consider an impactful veteran at a reduced cost, such as Darius Slay, instead of spending big on names like Reed, Byron Murphy Jr., or Charvarius Ward. If the defensive line can consistently pressure opposing quarterbacks, the need for an elite secondary could be reduced, allowing young talents like Terrion Arnold and Ennis Rakestraw time to develop alongside a seasoned veteran. However, early suggestions from experts indicate that Reed could be one of the most certain acquisitions for Detroit. Now, it remains to be seen whether Holmes and his staff share that view, and whether they will be willing to open the coffers to secure a major addition to the secondary. Given the Lions' need to strengthen their defense, especially in the secondary, do you think DJ Reed would be the best option for the team in 2025 free agency? Or should Detroit focus more on an elite pass rusher to increase pressure on opposing quarterbacks? In my opinion, investing in an experienced cornerback like Reed could be the key piece to elevate the defense's level, but it will all depend on the franchise's strategy. I want to know what you think. Comment below with your opinions, and don't forget to like the channel to strengthen it. Until next time.